all of you, I'm pretty sure all of you have come to a disagreement either with a friend or a family member, and it might have been a small disagreement where it could have been resolved just by easily as apologizing to each other. You guys, just because not apologizing to your, just for not saying sorry, you might have had like a big old story to go with that, like saying, just for not saying sorry, you guys usually like try to avoid each other, dog each other when you see each other, and eventually you do apologize, or sometimes just turns to hate, you guys don't want to see each other again. And that's why I got this quote: never apologize and never explain. It's a sign of weakness. I do not agree with this quote at all, just for the fact, because this quote's just it's embracing some hatred in the world. This is why there's so much hatred in the world, because when you don't apologize to just for not apologizing, countries go to war, parents get divorced, friends break, friendships are lost. That's why I don't agree with this quote at all. First, countries, they do go to war just because not apologizing to another country, they bring other countries like allies and creates world wars. Millions of people die just for stubbornness on their part. And I mean, just to throw a quote like this out there, it's just kind of disgrace. Like divorces, when your parents get divorced, it's usually just because they separate, they don't want to talk to each other, they don't want to see each other, they don't want to apologize to each other, they just don't have anything to do with each other, and usually just through a simple compromise, if it's just compromise with each other, or it's some sort of agreement that can probably save their relationship. Same that goes with friends. A fight to start like doing something stupid, just like during class throw something like an eraser at somebody. Simple sorry could just eliminate that instead of like a school fight after school, or something more severe. I'm pretty sure all of you have gone through this, and maybe some of you don't want to apologize at the end, and have a lot of enemies for that, or some of you are like me, usually stay angry for a period of time, and at the end end up apologizing, and so much can be avoided just by a simple sorry. So that's why I do agree with, that's why I don't agree with this quote. And so next time you come to some sort of situation like this, or some sort of situation where it involves a disagreement, just try to compromise it out instead of fighting over it, or if you do something bad to somebody or inappropriate, just apologize instead of causing a greater issue than it should be. Thank you.
All right, Christian, you need a little bit of energy in your presentation. The opening is kind of quiet. The rest of the speech is also very quiet. Your subject is identified pretty effectively, and you do tell us what the topic is, and you've got a point of view, so I think that that works well. It sounds like there's a preview. It's not as clear and distinct as it could be, but I think you did have a little bit of a plan. And during the body of the speech, it became more apparent that you at least were trying to talk about the same things that you'd set up in that preview. I think if you gave yourself some numerical structure on that, that would tighten it up a little bit and make it clearer that you really do have a plan and that you're not wandering around. I'm trying to figure out what war it is that we've gotten involved with, or anybody's gotten involved with, over failing to apologize. That was one of the illustrations that you came up with, and I didn't really hear any particulars on that. It sounded like a generality rather than something that was particular and something that you could talk about with any detail. On presentation issues, I've already mentioned that your voice is kind of low, and you need to have a little bit more variety in the pitch and pace of the presentation to pick it up and make it sound more interesting. It's very slow at times. It's fluent, so ideas are coming together, but it just feels like it's kind of a relentless stream rather than something that is got any emotional content to it. Your gestures, there are a couple of indicators, but there's also a lot of nervous hand wringing. You end up with your hand in the pocket. You've got that piece of paper in your hand that you're waving around a little bit. That's a little distracting. Your facial expressions are limited. There's just not a lot of emotional content there. And your eye contact with the audience, look, you have a tendency to look down and look around. Once in a while you look at people, but generally you're looking away from people during the vast majority of the time that you're speaking. At the end, you do come back to the theme that you're talking about, but instead of selling it with your voice and the energy at the end of the speech, it just sounds more like you're kind of, well, I'm done with this, and I'm kind of resigned to having had to talk about that without necessarily making the point, the thing that was important about the speech. And I think that that's something that you're going to have to work on, because most of it is your voice. You've got a nice voice, but you need to put some energy into it and some variety in the pacing and in the inflection and the tone so that it comes across more lively and effective. And otherwise it sounds like you're just bored with everything. And I know that you're not bored with it, but it comes across that way. I should say I know that you're not bored with it. Maybe you are bored with it, but we don't want to feel like you're bored with it. All right, thank you.